Time being, 1966 will be remembered as the year England won the World Cup. In the future, though, it may be recognised for the birth of a special trainer, Alan King. King was certainly bred to work with animals, being brought up on the family farm. It was as a teenager that he was bitten by the racing bug, joining the powerful David Nicholson yard. A quick learner, King soon became assistant and kept that position until the Duke's retirement in 1999. There was instant success for the young trainer as he sent out an impressive 31 winners in his first 6 months, with notable successes coming from Real Keel in the Grade 2 bonus sprint hurdle at Cheltenham and also Anzum in the long walk hurdle.
You know, we started here, as I said, 6 years ago with I think about 30 horses, and we're now up to about 130, so it's gone well.
Of course, David Nicholson, a big influence on what you do now. What were the things that you perhaps, or what was the most important thing you learned from the Duke?
I think the one thing, he was a great schooler of horses, you know, and he did a lot of it, and I'm still of the belief that, you know, a horse will jump well if he's got confidence, and the more practice they get, the more confident they are.
Looking to further his career, Alan moved to Barbury Castle, his home now, in June of 2000. And it's easy to see why the move has proved so successful. Barbury is blessed with some fantastic gallops, including 2 grass gallops, an all-weather gel track, an eco track, and a Wexford sand circle. The yard also boasts an outdoor school, a 10-horse walker, and extensive schooling facilities.
The main work, or the main routine, is done on the eco track, which we saw the horses work on this morning. You know, that's just short of 5 furlongs and rises 350 feet. So
that's similar to poly track?
Yes, it is. It's a Martin Collins surface. I think it just rides slightly slower than the poly track, which for jumpers is important. But I mean, they would do probably 90% of the work on that, and when you're just getting one ready for a big race, they'll do their final piece on grass.
Soon after moving to Barbury Castle, Fort Lightning provided a jubilant King with his first Cheltenham Festival winner. And as Alan unveiled his team for the 2007 renewal, it was time to find out how the stable stars are shaping up.
This is the big boy, everyone. This is My Way De Solzen. Now, the night before the Cesarewitch, I cuddled up with Detroit City and he absolutely hacked up. So 2 months before either the Arkle, the Ryanair Chase, the World Hurdle, which you haven't been put in, or possibly the Sun Alliance Chase, because your trainer's totally confused, I'm getting you ready. You are absolutely gorgeous. Alan, what a horse. I mean, there's just something about him that oozes class. It's like meeting a supermodel in a restaurant and just thinking, I'm in love.
Exactly. I mean, whatever he does, whether he's walking, trotting or cantering, as you see, he shows class, you know, and he's a pleasure to train, he's a pleasure to have around.
He's got the make and shape of a chaser, and when we saw him at Lingfield, again, you couldn't help but fall in love with him because he made the fences look like hurdles. He sort of almost skipped over them as if they weren't there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a horse. He watches what he does. He measures the fence from a long way off, and it's a joy to watch him.
And then he went to Sandown. That was crucial. Fair along. For me, he ran a little bit like a horse there down the railway fences, and he was sort of saying, "Look, I'm going as fast as I can over a trip that's not far enough for me." And then Fair along skipped away in the closing stages. For me, that was the sign that 2 miles might be too short for you over fences. What do you think, boy? I can't really ask him, Alan, but would you disagree? Was there an excuse at Sandown? Was there any reason why he didn't beat Fair along?
No, the Dave Fair along was a much better horse, and he was getting all the allowances, obviously. And the only thing I felt was we didn't quite get up the hill, which surprised me a little bit. You would have fine to be outspeeded, but we actually stopped the last half furlong, and it came a little bit quick after Lingfield. It was only 10 days. But you know, I think the winner's a high-class horse.
And of course, you bounced back at Cheltenham, another electric performance. When again, you know, those who've already fallen in love with him just fell in love with him even more, beating Turco 17 lengths, thoroughly convincing. Yeah,
and I mean, it was ground that probably suited us much better than Turco. You know, he's a horse that handles that ground so much better than most horses do. He'll have one more run. I mean, I've probably got to Warwick for the Kingmaker, and then we'll hopefully go on to Cheltenham.
King has proved a trifle frustrating for anti-post punters as far as My Way De Solzen is concerned. The World Hurdle winner holds entries for the Arkle Chase, Ryanair Chase and the Royal and Sun Alliance Chase. But in a word, what race would Alan like to see his stable star line up in?
Arkle.
Arkle, that's the one. I get the feeling that's the one you've got in your heart. But you train Viper Ustedes, who we know's got speed. What makes you feel that as a world hurdle winner, he's got the speed for 2 miles?
Because if you watch him work, he's every bit as fast as Viper is at home. Right. You know, this will work with anything.
And we were watching him walk around earlier, and just the way he holds his head just when he walks, it's like you're saying, I am the governor.
Well, good horses always have this little bit of class about them. They're able to show it, haven't they?
Well, it worked with Detroit City. He hacked up in the Zaravich, and he's won everything since. Can you tell me, do you want Ryanair, Sun Alliance Chase, or Arkle? Well, he went to you at the Arkle, Alan. I think it's a surefire sign. Arkle, here we come.
Viper Ustedes has always impressed in the jumping department. Even in the early days at Plumpton, he looked good.
He's been very good from day one, even at home. You know, we were delighted with the way he scored. And I think the first time we were around, AP rode him because Chalk got injured a couple of days before. But yes, and he got better as the season went on, and I mean, he was electric around Cheltenham.
When we saw him go up the gallops earlier on this morning, he floats up. It all looks very effortless for him.
Yeah, he's a pretty high-class horse, you know, and we'll just tick away very quietly with him. He doesn't take a lot of work, and we'll build him up for Newbury, and the Game Spirit will be his prat for Cheltenham.
Is he good enough to make that next step from Arkle winner to Champion Chaser? Because, as you know from your days with the Duke, I think there is a big difference between an Arkle winner and Champion Chaser. You had great horses in the 2 mile division, very promising around the Champion Chaser, Waterloo Boy, and of course Viking Flagship won it for the Duke. Is he as good as Viking Flagship, Viper?
He probably is. I mean, he might be quite as tough. I mean, Viking Flagship, you could run him twice in a week. You wouldn't get away with doing it with this lad, but I think he's got the ability, yeah.
Alan Catchett ran 16 times on the flat, so had a prolific career on the level, but has really taken to jumping.
Yeah, he'd been a natural from the first morning we schooled him. He absolutely loved it, and I think he's sort of grown in confidence since. You know, he started winning races, and he appears to be in a very, very good form.
I was very impressed that day at Chepstow when beat Chanimbar by a length and a half. Goes in any ground, lots of positives.
Yeah, I mean, you see he goes on any ground, but I think he'd be a much better horse on better ground.
Right.
You know, we're getting away with it on the soft, but I know Chalk's adamant that he'll be a much better horse if it dries up a bit.
You've had great success with your younger hurdlers in the past. Trouble at Bay, of course, was favourite for the Triumph for a long time. How does Catchett race against those you've had in the past that have been leading contenders for the race?
He certainly sets the standard. I mean, I'd be amazed if there's not something better comes out before they march, you know, but as yet I haven't seen one over here. Yeah, we'll go about it our way, and you know, he should run a big race. The great thing about him in a Triumph is he'll travel very well, and he jumps, and you need that to be competitive, you know, and hold your position. So, you know, I'm not saying he'll win one, but I think he'd go there and run very well in one.
And you and I both know size is absolutely crucial in most walks of life, but with a horse, it doesn't seem to be the case, because Catchett's absolutely tiny.
Yeah, but he'll catch up with him one day. I mean, he's going to be awfully hard to place next season, you know, but we're making hay while we can at the moment.
While Catchett may be the mini-me of the racing world, Halcon Genelardais, well, he's John McCrick.
Alan, if there's a giant in the yard, it's definitely Halcon Genelardais, winner of the Coral Welsh National just the other day. We saw him live on At the Races. First of all, what a horse. He is a galloping giraffe.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't appeal at that when he first came over. There wasn't a lot of him, but he's a horse typical French. He's developed and strengthened each summer, and he's made up into quite an imposing individual now.
And on the gallops, he looks like a horse you sort of have to give him a bit of motivation to get to the top of the old hill. But you were saying, actually, he's got a bit more speed than he shows when you're really after him.
Yeah, I mean, this morning they're just doing a routine cant, and he's up there in front. But you know, tomorrow morning when he does a bit of work and something pulls up sides, he'll pick up. Don't worry about that.
Halcon Genelardais by 2 or 3 lengths from Monmouth. Halcon Genelardais a fine lead, and he's now beginning to go on by 4 lengths from Monmouth in second place. They've gone away from Juveneur and then Naunton Brook, but Halcon Genelardais driven clear by Wayne Hutchinson is going to land the Coral Welsh National in terrific style. Halcon Genelardais wins.
What a piece of training in the Welsh National. How long did you plan that race for him?
I think we mentioned it when he won at Exeter last year as a novice, his 3rd win, and it was always the target. I mean, his owner's gone to the Welsh National for the last, 20 years, and he never misses. And as soon as I mentioned that he was a possible for that, he got very excited, and it rarely works out that the plan comes to fruition like that.
The Gold Cup is the plan at the Cheltenham Festival, and he has been well backed for that race in recent days.
Yeah, I mean, we'll run him in the Cotswold Chase probably at the end of January. A, it'll be his first time round Cheltenham, and B, it'll be an idea as to whether he's up to that. And if he comes through that well, then, we'd aim at Cheltenham, provided it's soft ground. If not, we'd look at something like a Midlands National.
So he's got a yard chock full of top horses. He's got awesome facilities. No surprise when you state the obvious and remind King things are going rather well. He just says,
No, I'm enjoying it, and we've got a great team here all the way through, you know, from the landlord to all my staff, and it is a big team job.
Are you a man who sets yourself targets each season?
The target's always been to improve on the year before, and that's something we've been able to do every season since we've been here. We've always increased the prize money, and hopefully this year, my target for the season was to break the million, and we're well on the way to that, so let's hope they continue in good form.